Hey, greetings everyone. Welcome back to the backup channel. I had another video that was against YouTube's whatever. And they went back again to an old video. So now I have two strikes, one more, and Mr. Thrive and Survive disappears. So here's what the deal is. I'm going to take every single live stream that I did on Mr. Thrive and Survive, and I'm going to delete all of them. I manually deleted the last 4 or 5 at least on my phone, and probably after the stream, we're just going to select them all, and every live stream I'm going to delete. And if there's even any question about any video from now on that might go against some sort of guidelines, I'm just going to delete it because they don't hit it when it's live. They hit it later uh, when it uh, when it uploads, and now they're hitting them from 2 years ago. So Colt 45, no, Mark Harris. Number one today. Hello, Mark Harris. You're going to see a whole bunch of flies around here. I got to figure out what these flies are getting in my house. I swear I've killed about 20 of them so far, and there's probably 20 left. And they're getting in my house somehow. And this is not the time of year we have flies in Arizona that are bad anyway, so I don't know what's going on. So hello, Mark Harris, Colt 45. Hello. Stanley, good to see you under your real name, or your original name anyway. Hello, Carbide. Ready to go commie? Yeah, why don't we just go commie? Make everything the same, right? Hello, I need the beach. Oh, they're very kind of you. Says your favorite nights of the week are live streams with Rich. Live stream nights with Rich. Hello, everyone. Hello. And Peter Sun. Hello to you. So I'm going to show you, I have permission, and to show you Michael. He gave me permission to show you pictures. I'm going to show you one. One is all you need to see. This is him in the hospital, in the ICU. After he became, is this, let me see if I got the one. Yeah, this is after he became what we call the unicorn guy. Hello, Vintage. So you're going to see what it was like. This was probably taken 1 or 2 days after the accident. So let me go ahead and share that with you. And I'm going to go and make it larger so you can see. How lovely, huh? So there's all the tubes and everything, all the monitors up here. And open EVD, that means they had over here, this pink stuff. That is brain fluid mixed with blood coming actually out of his brain. And here's his leg. And that's as far down as I went. So he compound fractured the right leg, compound fractured of the right forearm. And the left arm is actually, believe it or not, the left arm is more screwed up than any of them. And it's because he was in this position for so long, holding his arm there, that the tendons tighten. So he's got to stretch that out. He can't stretch that out all the way. So that's that. I figured I'd show you that. He gave me permission to do that. And I will show you progress pictures coming up soon. So doing much better. And thanks to everybody again for all your thoughts and prayers and everything. It did make a difference. Trust me. I am melting here, guys. I mean, melting. It is bad. It's we've turned into Saunaville in Arizona. It is it's the season for the monsoon, the rainy season. So now it's hot as hell and it's humid as hell too at the same time. Yeah, Eric, you got it. It was tough. There was one day in particular. It was probably right around when I took that picture. It was really tough. But I sort of knew each stage was going to be tough in its own way. Like the stage we're in now, I'm his primary caregiver because his wife has to work, and so I'm with him all day, Monday through Friday. He's now to the point. This is the first weekend I'll have of. I've actually taken Saturday and Sunday off. Not Sunday, Saturday. I've taken last Sunday off. Did I take the Sunday off before that? Yeah, I think I took 2 Sundays off in a while. That's because his wife was going to be there and she didn't have to do anything else. But now, even if she needs to do something, he can be left alone for a while. He can get anything he wants. He can get around. And he's thinking straight again. He's not 100% with any of it, but much, much better. Peter's son says, been praying for him, my buddy's girl who has been in recovery for 6 months. Oh, well, thank you so much, Peter's son. And prayers to your buddy's girl, too. So anyway, it's caregiving is tough too in its own way, but at least there's somebody to care for, right? So I'm not complaining whatsoever. But now starts the physical therapy, occupational therapy, and all that stuff. So thank you, Vintage. Yeah, praise the Lord. All healing comes from the Lord. So I'm going to get very slightly into tonight's topic, but I do. This is, if you all want this, I will get more into it. Um, this whole idea, and I'm not going to go very biblical on it tonight, I don't think, anyway. But this whole idea that ye are gods, as Jesus said, and we manifest reality, and the power of the tongue, and things like that. In fact, I'm going to give you a little Bible here. I think, if I can find it. And I'm done with the New International Crap version. So I think it's, I don't know, maybe next Wednesday, next Friday, somewhere in there, I can go back to Mr. Thrive and Survive. But all the live streams are going to disappear. And we're just going to have to do that with live streams. I know a lot of people like to come and watch them later. And if we don't get into anything at all that I think where they can take it down, at least until I get my first strike that drops, which is until September 12th, I'm just going to have to take them down, guys. I'm so sorry. Hello, Sissy May. Thanks for asking for people to thumbs up. I appreciate it. But I'll ask you guys if you want me to get into this. The idea that we actually do manifest our own reality. We are creators. We are of the God's family. He allows us to create whatever we get. If we're constantly stewing about something, or we're constantly in a bad mood about something and thinking everything's screwed up, everything will stay screwed up. It will. But you can change that, and you can change what manifests in your life. And it's not New Age stuff. It's biblical stuff. And that's what I want to show people. That what's happened is New Age has taken it and corrupted it to the point where the churches are saying, no, that's bad. Whereas the churches, they're not even realizing they're missing the mark too. So if I can get this thing to share. There we go. It's still saying New International Version. Oh, well. Let's do this way. Let's see. All right. This is James chapter 3. I'll comment as we go through. Not many of you should become teachers, my fellow believers, because you know that we who teach will be judged more strictly. We all stumble in many ways. Anyone who is never at fault in what they say is perfect. Anyone who is never at fault in what they say is perfect, able to keep their whole body in check. And you can't say anything unless you first think about it. I mean, the brain brings it about first, what you're going to say. When we put bits into the mouths of horses to make them obey us, we can turn the whole animal. Or take ships as an example. Although they are so large and are driven by strong winds, they are steered by a very small rudder wherever the pilot wants to go. Likewise, the tongue will make you go wherever you want to go. He says it right here. Likewise, the tongue is a small part of the body, but it makes great boasts. Consider what a great forest is set on fire by a small spark. The tongue also is a fire, a world of evil among the parts of the body. It corrupts the whole body, sets the whole course of one's life on fire, and is itself set on fire by, says hell, but we know that's not the actual word, by the grave. All kinds of animals, birds, reptiles, and sea creatures are being tamed and have been tamed by mankind, but no human being can tame the tongue. It is a restless evil full of deadly poison. With the tongue we praise our Lord and Father, and with it we curse human beings who have been made in God's likeness. Really? We're made in God's likeness. Maybe we're in God's family. See, he gave this to no animals. No animals can do this. No animals can create their own future. No animals can bless or curse anything, what's coming. A dog can bark, but it can't do anything other than that. Out of the same mouth come praises and cursing. My brothers and sisters, this should not be. Can both fresh water and salt water flow from the same spring? My brothers and sisters, can a fig tree bear olives or a grapevine bear figs? Neither can a salt spring produce fresh water. Who is wise and understanding among you? Let him show it by their good life, by deeds done in humility that comes from wisdom. But if you harbor bitter envy and selfish ambition in your hearts, do not boast about it or deny the truth. Okay, so I'm not going to get into this anymore here because it gets into other stuff. But the power of your tongue and your thoughts are all over the scriptures. They really are. They're all over. Old, New Testament and Old Testament. They're there. And we're not taught that ever. And if we are, we're saying, no, that's New Age. No, it's biblical. Anna, thank you so much. I like your screening now. Oh. Vinci said, I should try to save them where? Yeah, but see, I can never share them. Unless I put them on Rumble or something. I've already deleted a lot. So maybe going forward, I will download them and then upload them on Rumble or something like that if someone wants to see them that way. Maybe I could do that anyway, even if we talk about something controversial. But I'd like to get into this subject because not only can we manifest what happens in our own lives, what other live stream can you see a fly swatter go live on a fly? I don't know if I got him, but he's gone. The fly episode. Remember Breaking Bad? There was an episode called The Fly. I thought it was ridiculously bad. We can time bind. I will. Okay, I'll figure a way then. I got to download them all first somehow. Vintage, thank you so much. And thank you, Colt, too. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. And so is our reality. If we went, see, we are the cavalry coming over the hill. Christians. Not Q and the army and Trump. We are the ones who will manifest a better future. We are the ones who will bring in the kingdom, right? The kingdom is within you, right? It's within you. And you can bring it into reality. Pain is it? That is live swatting. Yep. Carbide murder. They might take me away on murder on that. Yet Hillary walks. But that's something I think we can get deeply into. It comes down to, and the Bible talks about this too, and people say, immediately they'll go to New Age. Meditation. Meditation is a great tool. The Old Testament says, meditate on thy law. And there's New Testament words that mean the same thing. In fact, you know the story about Peter when he went up on the housetop and he fell into a trance. He was probably meditating. He fell into a trance and he got a vision then. Okay. Can't say 100% for sure he was meditating, but I got to look that word up too to see exactly what that means. Vintage, God wants us to believe who he says we are and how much he loves us and wants us to prosper. Amen. He gave us abundance of everything. And the reason why we don't have it is because we believe in the Satan system of scarcity. And that's Satan's system of scarcity is brought to us live every day by mainstream media who is puppets of Satan's governments. Satan runs every government on this earth, every single one. And the puppet masters, the propaganda masters, the mainstream media, it's just broadcast. Who's the prince of the power of the air? Satan. And it's broadcast into the air daily. We don't have enough this. Gas is high because there's not enough. We don't have enough money because there isn't enough to pay us. And on and on and on and on it goes. But yet we have billions and billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars to waste on going to the moon, supposedly, or going to Mars, supposedly. And then we're going to have mining stocks for the moon. Right. What are they going to do when they get people to invest in these mining stocks and then they find out it's petrified wood? Ooh. Stetson Griffin, when you stop spinning standstill, you can be level with everyone across the stationary enclosed plane. Level pairs rich and all in tune. Well, thank you, Stetson. Very nice. I appreciate that. Nice picture, too. That's cool. Very nice picture. Is that a son of yours? I'm guessing. Could be you as a boy. That's right. Never mind. Food shortages. We don't even have enough baby formula. Whatever happened to breastfeeding anyway? So I think that's a different story. Sissy May, the Bible says to call that which is not as if it already was. There you go. You guys got it. To me, that's how we manifest things in the natural. Thank you so much, Sissy May. Fantastic. We pull them from the spiritual into the natural. Yes, ye are gods. Only gods, small g, of course, because he gave his offspring this exact same thing you do to your offspring. You give them every single power, so to speak, you have. Yeah, they don't have it until they grow up. We don't have it until we mature in the Holy Spirit. And many of us don't even get it because nobody has the faith of a mustard seed. Otherwise, mountains might be dancing around all the time, and trees and forests and all that stuff. We don't work on it. We're happy to look to somebody else. Oh, if we just vote Republican in 2022 and in 2024, then we'll have abundance of stuff and things will be better and we'll have our rights. No, all we have to do is manifest it ourselves. We are free. We are prosperous. We have plenty. Oh, your grandson, Braden, very good. I'm pretty happy now. I am 30 days away from being a grandson if he's on time. I mean, a grandfather if he's on time. Whole 45, you're the God of your environment. Very good. There you go. Vintage. You guys are great. God has given us authority to speak to our mountains. That's exactly right. You create your own kingdom. It's within you. But what did Jesus say? It doesn't come with observation. You don't just look and there it is. It's within you. Manifest it. Vintage. Yes, instead we beg and plead with God to do something instead of speaking to the problem about God. You guys are on top of it. SLH. I think it's an L or is it an I? SLH. Healthcare is a two-headed snake. You only pretend to save while secretly taking your life. Absolutely. No doubt about it. And what we did was we gave over the authority because they're doctors. They've been indoctrinated. They have degrees. Not 33rd degrees, but it doesn't have to be. It's the equivalent of it outside the order, so to speak. So we've been programmed to believe in that authority. Now that I know so much more about health and different things, I go to these doctors and I have to literally turn away so that they don't see me rolling my eyes at stuff they say. It's crazy stuff they say sometimes. And they literally believe what they're saying. Carbide, have you seen more food plants are burned down compared to decades past? It's getting bad. Food plants. Oh, you mean like meat processing plants and things like that? Is that what you're talking about, Carbide? Anyway, when it gets down to it, I didn't want to quite go this far, but when it gets down to it, meditation and prayer are basically the same thing. Eric Gage, so someone wrongly held for decades who believes and they pray, then what? So someone wrongly held. Can you reword that, Eric? I'm not quite sure what you're asking. Someone wrongly held for decades who believes and they prayed. Then what? I'm not sure what you're asking there. There's a word I'm not getting right or something. But I'm interested in your question for sure. Vintage, and once you learn the truth, then you hear everyone speaking the opposite of God's word. Yes, yes, yes. But you don't hear this stuff. You don't hear. You go to church and they tell you it's without you. The kingdom's not within you. They might say that, but that's not what they really mean. You have to go outside of yourself. And if you get to the really indoctrinated ones like the Catholics or the Lutherans, Episcopals, all right, then you have to go to another authority below God to partition for you before God, or petition the Lord, I should say, not partition, petition the Lord. Waiting for a new one there, Eric. If someone wrongly held for decades, I'm just not quite making it out. And then if you say something, they look at you like you're crazy. Yep, vintage. Hey, I know there's people that are probably, well, maybe not, because this is, especially on this channel, the backup, this is the hardcore, the good hardcore people usually come over to this channel. But on the other channel, I can guarantee, sorry guys to do this, but I am just in a sweating mess here. Ooh. Cold 45. Quick going to church when they started pushing the acceptance of homosexuality. I don't even know why. Well, I won't get into that. I don't even know why churches bother getting into secular matters anyway. Morals are morals, and I believe you should. It's like a racism. Who was it? Morgan Freeman. He hit it on the nail on the head. Somebody asked him in an interview once, when do you think racism will end? He said, when people stop talking about it. Like when they keep saying, a black man did this, or a white man did this, or a Asian person did this. Why isn't it just a man? Why is it a black man or a white man or a red man or a yellow man? So when they stop differentiating, it's like I say all the time, I don't care what people do. I don't care if they're homosexual, bisexual. It's not for me. As long as it doesn't affect me, interfere with me, or force me, oh, I have to accept this now because this community wants this. That's not right. Everything is between a person and God. It's not between you. That's putting you sort of in the position of senators and governors and House of Representatives, where they're the ones that need to govern you, decide what you can do and what you can't do. That is not our role as Christians. We can teach our own children what we think are our own morals and things like that in our own families. And we will obviously hang around people that have the same moral values. What does the Bible says? Unless two are agreed, you can't walk together, at least not for long. So you're going to end up with people that are, most of the time, that are mostly like you. Now, there are people in an extended family of Michael's wife who are gay. And it's actually, they're in a three-way relationship. And they're good guys. I mean, we have a good time talking this, that, and the other, but I don't hang out in their circles and they don't hang out in mine. And I don't judge them and they don't judge me. They don't say I have to accept them, because I don't. I accept them as decent people, whatever their sexual preference is. That's between them, their own morals, and their own God, if they have one. And I don't think it's a big deal to God anyway. I just don't. Yeah, there's a couple of references in the Bible, but that's about it. A couple of references. There are so many things that are more important to focus on. It's one of the distractions in my mind. how we treat another person, no matter who they are. We wouldn't treat somebody bad because they were born with a deformed right arm, which is, I'm saying, what I'm doing is I'm giving an example of different from the norm, different from the majority. I don't know. That's me. Live and let live. As long as you're not interfering with me, fine. But I don't want to have to turn on TV and say, oh, this is, I don't want straight month and I don't want gay pride month either. I don't want either one. Whatever happened to just having different months? Now we have to have a month for every single minority and every single, every single minority trait that's out there. It's this week and that's that month and it's this time. And it's, what? Just live. Let people live. Why do they need a gay pride month anyway? I don't get it. So, I don't know. There used to be a time when everybody was private about everything. I don't think there's any more, except for this, well, with exceptions because of how things have become in society. I don't think there's more gay people now than there used to be. There's definitely more trans people, but that's because of how sick society has gotten with. And it's going to be a lot worse because now we have parents who are encouraged to tell their children whatever sex they want them to be, whatever sex the parents wants them to be. Oh, no, you're not a little boy. You're a little girl. No, you're not a little girl. You're a little boy. And we can't say anything about that. See, that's part of protecting someone who's not of age to decide for themselves. We all make decisions that are good and bad and ugly. And I don't want the whole world judging me because I made a bad decision about something at some point in my life that they don't agree with. A lot of people would be totally angry and are angry with me because I don't believe in traditional Christian things that the Christian churches teach because they're not of Christ. They're not of the Bible. So I don't believe them. And people don't like me for it. That's fine. Whatever. You can only, what does the Bible say? Train up a child in the way he shall go. And when he is old, not when he's a teenager necessarily or in his 20s, when he is old, he will not depart from it. So you have a fiduciary duty as a parent to raise up a child in the way they should be. You instill your moral values into them because they don't have any. Everybody's born with a clean slate. And when you have people that are pushing different sexual stuff on people when they're not even sexual yet, nobody's sexual before puberty. There's something wrong there. And I gotta, I'm already saying, well, maybe this what I'm talking about here is going to be taken down. So Carver says, I will never have a gay fan. I find it all disgusting. And that's fine too. That's fine too. As long as, I don't care what their sexual preference is, as long as I'm treated right whenever I'm around them, then I'm okay with it. Well, I'm not saying I'm okay with it. I'm just, it doesn't affect me. I'm not watching them have sex. I'm not watching them kiss or anything like that. They don't do that when they're around me. And I don't hang around them when they go out to clubs and stuff. So, but if your choice is not to even hang around them at all, that's your choice. That's fine. Live and let live. Especially me, I think the homosexual spirit was loosed when the Kenyan was president. Oh, Kenyan. Bill says, I like right, I oppose wrong. That's fine. And here's the thing, no matter what let's just say, okay, no matter what sin a person does, whatever it is, one day the person will have to reconcile that with God, and they will. And it will be reconciled, whatever it is. Now we have, it's like Joe Biden likes vanilla ice cream, but I don't think he likes strawberry. Some people like, or I don't like or dislike being around gay people. I like being around people that I enjoy. So, but when I'm around them, I'm okay with them because they're okay. I don't avoid them. Now, if I thought, like I said, some of this stuff was going to go on in front of me, I would definitely avoid it. It's just not me. I don't mind being around a hardcore left person as long as they're not trying to push it in a certain way, which today means being nasty to you with the same attitude of cutting you off, like they cut you off on Twitter or whatever. Freedom from all, I actually disagree with that, and I'll tell you why. He says LGBT stuff is just the road to pedo normalization. Do you remember when that actor, um, he was in that disgusting, he was the president in that disgusting show, and he had no morals, whatever. Anyway, he was also in The Usual Suspects. He was the main character, and anyway, he got caught with some pedo stuff, and what he did was he came out and said, "I'm gay," and the gay community got all over him. They hammered him, and they said, "Gay does not mean pedo." Um, so I don't know about that, but I think what it is um, the, hey DC, what's the latest with the flag? They added a black and brown stripe, and I actually heard them say what it was for, but it was like it was just I was taking care of Michael at the time, and it didn't stick. Is it for trans and all that stuff? I don't know what it's for. Kevin Spacey, thank you, Mojo Shop. That's the one. He got hammered by the gay community. You know, quite a few pedos in jail. They were all gay. Actually, I know one. I can't get any deeper into that because I can't reveal who it is. Sick. He was a pedo with his own daughters. He was definitely not gay, but he was sick. House of Cards. Yep. What a oh! I saw one or two, like 10 or 15 minute snippets of that show, and both times I was disgusted. I just turned it off. No worry, they forgot a color, so they just put it back in. Then we have an almost complete rainbow, almost. But the bottom line is, I don't go out of my way to associate with gay people, and they don't go out of their way to associate with me either. But if there's times like that, we had an event recently where we were together in the same spot, they were okay. It didn't bother me, let's put it that way, that they were in the same restaurant as what it was. New topic, please. Okay, Freedom, I'm with you. I don't like the topic either. Um, but it just goes to show how libertarian I am. Live and let live. If you're not bothering me, do what you want. If you're not hurting anybody else and you're not hurting me, go for it. You got to answer to yourself and to God eventually, not me. D&B, good to see you. Let me see if I can snag another. I want to show you the difference with Michael. Hold on. See if I can get this. We did a trade show the day before his accident. And just to show you the difference of what can happen to you, and the doctors kept saying if Michael didn't have as much meat on him, so to speak, if he wasn't as big and as strong as he was, he probably would not have survived. Not just the initial accident type of thing, but the recovery phase, because he needed so much of his own body to break down amino acids and stuff like that to help repair everything, because he had so many things going wrong. So let me share this with you. This is the day before his accident. And he's flexing. He's flexing next to his partner in the business. And the reason why they're doing that is because it's a moving business, and they do this. You know, the symbol is a guy flexing his muscle. So that's why they're doing it. But here you go. So, yeah, that's the day before. So that's Michael. And you can see behind this guy over here on the to your left, there's a picture of a Flex Muscles, what it is. That's their logo. So that's why. And you can see it on their shirts if I actually zoomed in far enough. Well, there you go. You can see it now. So this was a trade show that we worked. I worked it too. Okay. So that was the day before the accident. Now let me show you after. Let me find a photo that works. The difference is, you ready for this? 32 pounds. And he lost his hair because they had to shave it. Because the picture I'm going to show you shows him with no hair. And it's from the side. It was him in the rehab facility. But you can see the difference. And this was like 6 weeks later. Look at the difference. When I took this picture, he was still not in. He was still, as he says, he was still not making memories. So he wasn't in his right mind yet in that picture. But it was a few days after that he was okay. He came back to himself. Yeah, gains, loss. But you know how it is, DCM. You gain it once. You gain it once. It comes back fast. Because there was a time when I was living in the trailer, had no money, nothing. I didn't have money to go to the gym. I was barely living, and all I could eat was carbs and stuff like that. And I lost everything. I mean, literally. I mean, I was in that position for a little bit over a year. And as soon as I started lifting, it was like, wow, it comes back fast. But getting it the first time, that's hard. Carbide, so if I upset people, but it's just an opinion. Opinions are cool here at Carbide. Let's see what you say. Maybe I have to change my mind. Just kidding. There's one debate I feel strongly about it, as if they are all trying to mainstream it. It started with marriage, now they want everything. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that too. And that's part of the reason why you constantly have this, you're discriminating against this, because you keep bringing it up and saying it's got to be this. You have to have these exceptions. It's so like when I was going to junior high school, that's when they did forced busing. If you don't know what that was, they were forcing the races to intermix in school. And it meant that you didn't necessarily go to your closest school to your neighborhood. They would bring a bus in and take you to the other side of town just so the racial quotas were made. And all it did was create animosity between the races, because it was like, oh, because there aren't enough blacks in the school or whites in the school, depends on who you are, I have to go way across town. So it's their fault. So while they're preaching, this is all good, what it's doing is it's creating more of what they're trying to get rid of. Oh, thank you, Sis May. I'll pass that on to him. Did you like his sign? Anna, the something not. I don't know what you're against, Anna. I can't say it here. Thank goodness he had so much muscle before he'll gain it all back and more. Yep, that's the thing. Everybody said 100%. And if in case you weren't on the well, thank you, Joe Bond. Joe Bond. Yeah, Carver, the kid part is not right. That is not right. Adult to adult, that's one thing. No. Indoctrinating kids is not right. Joe Bond says, have a great 4th of July. And remember, July is now White History Month. Was June was Black History Month, or was that Pride Month, or was it both? I don't know. So if it was Black History Month is February. So June was. Oh, I see what you're saying, because 4th of July. Whites versus whites in 1776. Yeah, vintage. The race problems got started up during the Obama years. Yeah, absolutely. Because what they did was anything that went against Obama or anybody that didn't agree with his policies, oh, it's racist. Even what you call it fell for it. The person who should know better, the actor I was talking about earlier. Morgan Freeman. But Morgan Freeman said during the Obama administration, they asked him, I think he was being interviewed by a British guy who's always against guns in America or whatever, and he lives in Great Britain. But he asked him, he said, why do you think so many people are against this policy about whatever? He said, do you think it's race? Yeah, I do. I was like, shut up. End of interview. Click. Now, Kevin Spacey, he has totally, I would hope anyway, totally ruined his career. Hey, does anybody know what happened to Val Kilmer? I know now, but I didn't know for a while. I was like, why did Val Kilmer disappear? Because I liked him as an actor. I really liked him a lot in Tombstone when he played Doc Holliday. Carabao someone is blaming Trump for the recession today. They can't get him out of their minds. Nope. He's still deeply embedded in their brain, that's for sure. Vintage. That's what I've heard, Vintage. He was the best Batman, and I have not seen that Batman. I've seen a couple of the others, and one of them in particular I did not like. Um, and there's one or two others I didn't see. I didn't see the one where it's another actor. What happened to him? And I know what it is. Um, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Um, Bucket List. What else was he in? Many in between. He was in one of the Batmans. Um, what's the one where he played this crazy guy? Um, anyway, you'll get who it was. Oh, why can't I think of names? I swear I can think of them just like that when I'm not on the stream. When I'm on the stream, I can't think of them. Hey, DCM, have you noticed? I told my son this today because he's always looking for investment opportunities. I said gold and silver in particular is getting very affordable, like coming to a price where it's good to buy. Silver is basically at $20 an ounce. Gold's still holding at 18, but silver in particular is undervalued. But I told him, I said, not yet. We got a while to go. Jack Nicholson, thank you. Never mind. Yes, Jack Nicholson. What happened to Jack Nicholson was he stopped making movies because he got to, I don't know if he's got Alzheimer's or just dementia or just problems with memory, but they say he can't remember his lines, so he stopped acting. What happened to Val Kilmer was he got throat cancer and he lost his voice pretty much. He talked, it was like, when you have to hold your finger over the trach area. And they actually did a movie. My brother told me he was in a movie they obviously made for him, where he played a person where that happened to. But I guess they had to take out his vocal cords. I don't know what, or part of them. Yeah, silver got pounded. I was almost in a position. I got out of it where I had to sell because I was short of money because of gas, because of traveling, to take care of Michael. But I figured a way around it. I was like, no, I don't want to sell my silver at $20 an ounce. And I don't have that much to sell, so I want to hold on. Since he made the nicotine receptors in the brain blocks the effect of the Fauci ouchie when people smoke. That's the reason the government is starting a campaign to lower nicotine in cigarettes. Are they really? You know what that tells me? That tells me that the cigarette companies, Philip Morris, etc., they haven't been paying their fair share to the politicians if they're starting to talk that way. If all of a sudden they drop it and they don't push it all the way through, that means more backdoor money came in. Yeah, gold's holding up actually fairly well, Colt 45. It's only a couple $100 off its high, and since it's 1845 or whatever, that's not bad considering the crap that's happened in the markets in the past year. I saw some country in Africa switch to gold today. Really? Well, maybe they'll be the next one bombed. Let's see if I can find that vintage. That's interesting. Well, we cut off the Swift system. I don't see it. I get a whole bunch of articles about who's got the largest gold reserves in Africa and stuff like that. Exclusive gold worth billions. Can I do this by date? Let's see. And now Zimbabwe, of all of them. Zimbabwe. Remember, that's one of the ones like people go to for like the Weimar Republic. When you talk about disastrous depreciation of their dollar. Zimbabwe. Like at one point, it took so many trillion of their dollars to get one US dollar. Zimbabwe is using gold, smart people, to hedge against inflation and hence reducing its dependence on US dollars domestically. Zimbabwe ditches American dollar and shifts to gold. Well, let's see if all of a sudden something politically comes up where they need to replace the government in Zimbabwe. I'm not kidding either. They said more would follow. Yeah, and you know what? Russia is off the U.S. dollar, and they're off the SWIFT system. So is China. The U.S. dollar is just like dangling. Can't eat your dollar either, SLH. Can't eat your dollar bill. But I know one thing: if I have $20 in 20 US dollars and one silver coin worth $20, 5 years from now, that $20 effectively is probably going to be worth about 12. But that silver is going to be worth about 30. That's the difference. And I can turn it into cash any day I want. Well, not any day but one. I can turn it into cash immediately. Actually, every day of the week, I can turn it into cash because I could go to a different place. Faster than waiting in line at the bank. And guess what? It's not reported. It's not taxed. I bought silver, started buying silver, I think, at $8 an ounce, something like that. Sold many ounces in the high 20s, mid 20s. I bought gold at $430 an ounce. Sold many, many, many gold pieces in the mid to upper teens per ounce. Not one single dime that I pay in tax. And I don't mind saying it because I didn't violate any IRS laws. It's tax free. And nobody knew. They knew when I bought it because of the way I bought it. But when I sold it, nobody knew I sold it. Total off the record, no electronic transaction, nothing. Here's a gold piece. Here's $1,700 in cash. You want cash or check? I'll take cash. Nothing recorded. There will come a time, though, hopefully not, but there has been in history where it doesn't matter if it's silver or it's art or gold or whatever, it ends up being worth more than the dollars in circulation. So people will take that for food instead of their dollar. Weimar Republic, the famous story of the woman who went to the store to buy something. She walked in the store. She walked to the store with a wheelbarrow full of Deutschmarks, Weimar Republic Deutschmarks, filled with them. Billions of dollars worth of Deutschmarks. She walks in the store, walks out of the store, and the money was dumped on the floor and they took the wheelbarrow because it was worth more. People in Weimar, Germany, and in Zimbabwe and other places where this has happened, South America it happened, I can't remember the country. They would pay the people, and then the people couldn't buy food with it because it was just, they didn't have enough. Maybe they could get half a banana with a week's wage. So what they started doing was in these different countries, they started paying people in the morning and in the afternoon. So they paid them in the morning after a couple hours of work. Then they had enough to go out and get breakfast. And they paid them in the afternoon so they could get dinner. And before they did that, they didn't have enough money for food. So the dollar doesn't always buy you food. You can't always eat your dollar. But you can always eat something of value and certain things have never gone to zero. Every fiat currency, sooner or later, goes to its intrinsic value, which is zero. You can't buy anything with it. Nobody will take it. History is replete with examples all over the place. And it's happened many times, and they don't publicize it much. And even in your lifetime, it's happened tons of times. But they don't want to make people aware that that's possible to happen with fiat money because they want you to believe in the fiat system because that's how they control you. And what they did here was we've had unbelievable, unprecedented by far, by exponents in history, printing of the US dollar. No other currency's ever been printed like ours. It's been printed and printed and printed and printed electronically now, but it's the same thing. But we never had the big inflation problem because there's another piece to it. It's called the velocity of money. And they screwed that up when they were sending out free checks to people for about a year during COVID. Remember that? Now they have the velocity of money going. Look what the result is. That was just from a couple of checks they sent to people. And guess what they're going to have to start doing if it stays out of control? They're going to have to still somehow supplement people's incomes because they're going to have a big problem on their hands soon because people aren't going to be able to make it, especially if you're on a fixed income. So what governments typically do then, it's bread and circuses. They'll increase the entertainment that's going on somehow while they give you more bread, so to speak, more money. And there's no reason to tax a single dime. There is no reason, unless you're at war. The U.S. Constitution provides that money is printed by Congress and it isn't supposed to have interest on it. There's no interest on it. But when they let private central banks come in and private banks, national banks, started with local banks, state banks, national banks, and central bank on top of all of it. They have systematically slippery sloped us into, and then we have to feed the system. Oh, we borrowed. You don't have to borrow anything. We borrowed $1 trillion this year, most of it for NASA. Just kidding with the most of it, but a lot of it goes to NASA. Whatever the percentage is, 1% of the budget, 0.5%, whatever. It's too much. $1 to NASA is too much. It doesn't do anything for humanity. We got nothing out of the space program. I don't care if you think the moon is real, Mars is real, going to them is real. We got nothing out of it. Not a thing. Yay! We got some entertainment, bread and circuses. Yay! Look at the space shuttle go up. Yay! Oh, it exploded. Craziness. And the people build websites and social media areas where they're begging people to give more money to NASA. But you'll notice they never volunteer their own check. Why don't you write a check? $50. Send it to government, say you want to earmark for NASA. They'll do it. Well, maybe they'll do it. They're supposed to do it. Vintage. You can't eat seeds. I'm just kidding. Yep, they have to be in the refrigerator. I guess you got to simulate winter. That's what makes them work, huh? Yep, seeds, God's gifts. Yep, everything comes from seeds, even humans. Well, I guess technically you have like eggs. Same thing, it's a seed. But it's all a racket to control you and to keep you under the thumb. One of the things my mother used to always say. I was like, what do you mean they want you under the thumb? Well, I get it now. It's free money that they charge you interest on. They printed out of thin air, created out of nothing. No labor involved other than click. Not only do you have to pay interest, but you have to pay compounding interest. That's anti-biblical too. Interest is anti-biblical. Did you know that? You shall not charge usury among your brethren. Usury is interest. Or I'll lend you 20 for 30, that type of deal. 20 for 40. 20 for 40 was famous when I was in the Navy. But the people that want to go out and drink, I made money all the time. I wasn't a drinker. I didn't care. They come up and say 20 for 40, which meant you give them 20 and they promise to give you 40 next paycheck. And they would give it to you because the next paycheck you were out at sea. You had no place to spend it. So they give it to you. It was almost like having a house back in your loan. It was great. I never had anybody stiff me for it. Of course, I would only lend it to people I trusted anyway. I like that, Peter son. Money is the fruit of evil as often as the root of it. I wish it said the love of money because that's really what it is. Henry Fielding, 1731. Good. 1731. Wow. I'm surprised the central bank allowed that to even be published. Ooh, boy, is it hot. And I got the air conditioner blowing as hard as it can. Yeah, I do vintage. In fact, my brother has offered to go half with me on one of these little these air conditioning units that sits on your floor and it has a tube that goes out your window. It's round, and he said that'll cool the whole place. I said, well, I don't have money for that, and I do have I have a window air conditioner that the people had when I bought the place. Now, I have two. I've got one in my bedroom, which is mine. If theirs, the one they had was this little teeny little thing, and it couldn't keep up either. I was like, I can't have this in the bedroom. So I had one myself, and I put it in, and fantastic, no problems. This thing, it's nice. It's as far as it's all digital, and you can program it and that and stuff like that. I wish you could say, all right, in so many hours, turn down the temperature to this because that would help me because I'm not here most of the day. I'm not going to pay for the electric when I'm not here. I do run it, but I run it at 79 degrees. And that leaves it at about 92 in here. It's just too much open space for that air conditioner. It's not beefy enough. So at some point, me and my brother will probably do it. And then I won't have that issue. But yeah, mini split. There's a guy here that installs them. I should ask him what he charges. The lady across the street, she got one. She's in a house like mine, and she said it was fantastic. Um, but I don't know. I just need a one of those air conditioners because he said it'll do the whole thing. And my brother's really good with it. He's the mechanical person in my family. He knows all that stuff. But an air conditioner better, really vintage. What I like about the windows is they're never in your way. I just need one that's powerful enough. That's the deal. I need like a 10 billion BTU. I need one so powerful that in 2 or 3 days after I start using it, Obama's property in Massachusetts starts losing. He starts losing property because the ocean levels are rising from my air conditioner. So let's see. What happened? I think the stock market went up today, didn't it? 321 points. Oh, it's back. Oh, it's back to 31,000. It was what, 38,000 at one point? Yeah, about 38,000, roughly. I don't have the exact number. And roll in, roll in, roll in. It's rolling over. Still rolling over. I see support at the next decent level support. It bounced at support just now. You ain't going to stay long. Uh, 28,000, 28,000 something, low 28,000. So expect another 3,000 point loss probably in July or by August. We'll see. The ultimate support, though, which is where it's going to go, it actually might go to 4,400. If we're lucky, 10,800. But I think 5,000 Dow is pretty much in the bank right now. Putin is seeking emergency powers to expand the war. Go Putin. In case you don't know, I'm very pro Putin fixing Ukraine because it was a Western cesspool of money laundering. Evidently, where they've been making some biological stuff, think COVID stuff that were taken out, but it was a cesspool of Western politicians using that as their laundromat for their kickbacks. DCM says crash is imminent. I've been looking at real estate DCM, and it is showing all. Speaking of vintage, it's showing all the vintage signs of being at a top. I mean, you can almost check off every single one. More are built or on the market than were last month, yes, and last quarter, yes. Less people in the marketplace, yes. There's only one left, and that's the prices haven't fallen, but some are starting. But that's the natural result of more inventory, more supply, less demand. And once it starts, it cranks up high in the real estate because people are like, oh, we got to do this now. And then you have a flood of people put their house on the market. And you don't have enough buyers. Welcome to the recession 2022, 2023. Colt 45, the government should not be taxing we, the people. They should be sending us all checks every year from the interest they make from our title, our name. Absolutely, absolutely. And from what they've stolen from us since our birth and from our parents. You know, they talk about reparations for the Civil War and slavery and all that. Please give me a break. How about reparations since any one of us has been born, including our parents and our grandparents? We've all been in different types of slavery. I'm not diminishing the actual slavery. I'm just saying we've all been hammered by our own government. More than people know. I agree with that too, Anna. Ukraine human trafficking. I 1,000% agree with that. Carbide, Putin kicked out the cabal and is doing what he had to do. That's why the world hates them. They were told to. Yeah, absolutely. As soon as the media came out, bam, 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 Putin's an evil and it's all his fault, and this is bad, and this is horrible, and this is World War III. Remember they were talking about World War III? I thought it's not World War III. It ain't going to happen. They wanted the public to get, like they did during COVID, where they would do anything. Stick stuff in their body, wear stuff on their body, stay away from people, stay away from their job, lose their job. Oh, did you hear today? Facts matter. The CDC, Centers for Disease Control, for 2 weeks knew that the Johnson & Johnson vaccine was giving people blood clots. And for 2 weeks, they held up the data. They didn't tell people. Meanwhile, during the 2 weeks, people were still going out getting the Johnson & Johnson because they thought it was okay. Sounds like they were like, what can we do? No, don't release it today. Let's see if we can come up with something. Finally, 2 weeks. Now we got to do something. Okay. Wait till all this stuff comes out. Wait till the treasure trove of the data from Pfizer comes out, especially in October, November. I can't wait to see what they held back for the last 2 months. Because they were told they had to release it by a certain date, but they didn't say what the judge didn't give them. You have to give this part in order. No. So guess what? I'm sure they're holding the best for last, or shall I say the worst for last. Vintage, you're not voting for anyone? I'll tell you what, Vintage, why don't me and you run on the ticket? We won't even vote for ourselves, but we'll see how many votes we can get. Yep, I'm not voting. Yep. Johnson & Johnson does make a lot of stuff go 45. Good. I was thinking about starving the beast the other day, something that came up in my mind about it. It's like these people that still go to these. Now, I've been going to a lot of different doctors' offices because of Michael. And some doctors' offices don't require masks and some do. And it's like the people that do require it, nobody's saying a word. They're just complying. You got to start saying to these people, oh, if you have the opportunity, don't kill yourself. But if you have an opportunity to change doctors and it's not inconvenient, or you have to go 10 miles now instead of a mile, you have to say to these people, hey, I'm not going to come to a place that requires masks, if that's what you believe. Right, YouTube? And it's no longer CDC guidelines for masks. So I'm not going against any YouTube guidelines or CDC guidelines. You're right in my name, huh? Just for funsies. Did I ever do that? Did I ever write myself in for president? No, but I did handwrite in for Ron Paul once. Vintage. I'm just amazed at all the people who still think they can vote and change things to shoot me. Not only that, but they're very passionate about it. Very passionate. That's why Mike Ball is not on here. He knows I'm not a pro voter, and I don't think Trump and the Patriots are going to solve anything because it's been too long. It's been 40 years of me voting, or whatever it's been, 45 years. I know the pattern now. I'm not going to waste my time supporting a decayed, rotten. What happened recently, I'm not going to even say the year, but what happened recently told me that the entire system is just rotten to the core. The root, the branch, the trunk, it's all rotten. And you going and changing 1/3 of this and half of this and whatever this time, it ain't going to change a thing. I'm sorry. We have to get our latest BS report from X22. I'll read you what's coming. What's latest? Oh, he was wrong. It's now July. We were supposed to have Julian Assange. We were supposed to have this source in June. Oh, it didn't happen. Just like it didn't happen 3 years ago when X20 report said it was coming, or 4 years ago when X22 report said it was coming. Sorry, you got this one wrong, X22 report. Latest one. Deep State, DS, of course, in brackets like it's Q, prepares riots. Hunters have become the hunted. Oh, really? Yeah, I can tell that, man, all these elites are just shaking in their boots. You don't even see them anymore. They're not even on Twitter. They're so shaken that they're hunted. They don't want anybody to know where they are. Those protected have become prey. Unbelievable. People believe it because they want to believe it. I wanted to believe it for a while. I was there for a while. What else we got? Bitcoin Ben. The Patriots countered the brackets CBDC, central bank in DC, I guess, years ago. The Patriots countered the CBDC years ago. So why the hell are they still in control then? It's now coming to light. You people are on what the drugs that you people are taking. Here's a good one. How do you catch a criminal? You do the exact opposite of the U.S. criminal system. I'm talking about real criminals, the elite. Build the pattern of life, map the cheaters. These people are on serious mind-altering drugs. Another piece to the election. Oh, I can't even read that word. Never mind. Define bait. Oh, Trump and the Patriots are out there baiting people. Who really has control? The idiots, not the Patriots, like you keep saying. And again, I say, once again, I'm done with X22 for my nightly stroll down to LSD alley. Never mind. I wouldn't vote for anybody. Sorry. Putin couldn't do anything anyway. Ron Paul couldn't do anything. Rand Paul couldn't do anything. The most libertarian person in the world can't do anything because it's not them. They can't do anything. It's Satan's system. They say you got the best president ever, which you'd probably end up with because they control the system. You'd end up with a supermajority on the other side who would just override presidential vetoes. You have, was it unanimous? I think it was unanimous. I got to look this up. Hold on. Republicans, these are what people want to vote in. Republicans support a no-fly zone in Ukraine to hurt Biden. What that would do is that would put us, if you don't understand a no-fly zone, that is an act of war. That's like us being the Japanese and attacking Pearl Harbor. That's what a no-fly zone is. That's Russia involved in their own war with Ukraine, and us going over and telling them, if your planes take off, we're going to shoot them down. That's what a no-fly zone is. Republicans want to do that to hurt Biden. They don't give a crap about your kids who are then going to go to war against Russia and probably China. Then it's World War III. Republicans, who everybody wants to get in there. And there was some vote, it was symbolic, but I think every single one wanted to punish Putin or do a no-fly zone, something that was really bad. I was like, I can't even believe this. But I don't care what you get in there. Like I said in the last stream, the most powerful position really in this country is probably to be one of the Supreme Court members. But we're going to have a time, and it's on our doorsteps right now, where the Supreme Court is going to say, no, you can't have, we're there. You can't have the Constitution does not federally allow the federal government to say yes or no on abortion. It's a states' right issue. So immediately the Democrats said, screw the Supreme Court, a co-equal branch of government, right, supposedly? And now they want to codify it into law. What the Supreme Court said they can't codify into law. It's not a federal issue. But they're going to do it anyway. I've been waiting for the time, and I think we're here now, where the Supreme Court says, no, you can't do that. And they're just like, we're doing it anyway. What are you going to do? Because the Attorney General, he works for the president. So if the Supreme Court said you can't bring in any more illegals from Mexico, let's just say they said that. They just recently pretty much said the opposite. But let's just say they said it. And Biden does it anyway. Well, it takes his Attorney General to press charges. He ain't going to do squat. Congress can't do squat. All this, I learned real quickly. I thought Congress actually over me and you, Congress has real power. They can put us in jail. Like if we were subpoenaed before Congress and we lied to Congress or whatever, yeah, they probably throw us in jail. Just like there's people still in jail for who didn't even go into the Capitol building on January 6th. Who's advocating for these people? Anyway, all these highfalutin politicians, Hillary Clinton, James Comey, all these other people, they go testify and lie before Congress, or they don't even show up. Not a thing happens to them. Nothing. Remember Trey Gowdy? Was that his name, Trey Gowdy? How bad he blistered and hammered Clinton, backed her into a corner, got to admit certain stuff. No power. None. He ain't going to do anything to her. Just a show. That was part of the circus, bread and circuses. SLH, all government is mind control bull crap. If you believe anything coming out, you are controlled. 100% correct. 100% correct. DCM. Democrats are in love with Donald Trump. They're just playing hard to get. I know the left wing leaning TV stations, cable news, whatever. They can't wait. They don't want Biden. Biden's killing them. They want a Trump back. Trump was right. When I go, your business is going to be dead. And some people are waking up. Netflix took all their woke stuff off because people were started leaving in droves. They expected so many million, 25 million increase in the first quarter in subscribers. They got a 2 million decrease. That's a swing of 27 million from expected. And I know why. You turn on Netflix, it's like LGBTQ this, mixed interracial couple that. I mean, it's fine if you want to show that, but that's all you. It was like in your face nonstop. People don't want to be forced into something, and that's the problem. There's a difference between tolerance and forcing it, and we're on the forcing end of it. Yeah, Brandon can't control his own bowel movements. How about that? How about that end of that bike ride? Was that just a? It was like a meme of how he is right there. It was so perfect. Yeah, well, Disney's in the same boat, and guess what? Disney took was it Disney? No. Time Warner took over CNN, and I think it's this September they start actually taking control. And they've already said people like Brian Stelter, they're cancer, they're gone. And they have said they want them to go back to an actual news place instead of just spouting left wing crap all the time. We'll see if it happens. But Netflix, I mean, all you have to do is look at their stock. When that report came out, and then all of a sudden, somebody woke up and said, yeah, get woke, go broke is true. I think I have them on my list. Let me see if they're here. Gasoline is down. Future gasoline is 366, which is down 60 to 70 cents from its high. And it just now started falling in Arizona about 30 cents. So their gouging is still 30 or 40 cents over what they should be. Soon as futures went up, every gas station the next day went up because I watch it every day. It's been dropping. No, it's not dropping every day. It took about 3 days. They finally started dropping it here. Actually, took about a week after it started dropping before they dropped it. Netflix. You probably can't see this. It's year to date. See the cliff? Well, the cliff happened. Well, that's 1 year. I'm sorry. The cliff happened. know it's very small, but right up here, that was the top. That was the day the news came out. They lost 2 million subscribers. And down she goes. June 10th, roughly, give or take a day or two. And so they're like, no, we really don't want to go broke. So let's can the get woke stuff. It was like hardcore get woke stuff that they had on there. Rich, if we are in a dome, what fell from the sky and blew up in Tunguska, Russia in 1908? Oh, good question. I have a very good theory on that. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's true. That was a electromagnetic discharge. The same thing that causes craters on the moon, probably interacting with the Earth. When you look at that, why they say it was a meteor is just part of the propaganda. There was no crater. And what they say is, when you read into the literature, it exploded right above the ground, like something like 1,000 feet, 100 feet, whatever it was. It exploded before it hit the ground. So it came all that distance from outer space, goes all the way through the atmosphere, gets just above the surface and explodes. And there was no debris, no rocks, whatever. But the deal is, the trees at a certain level just snapped in two, like toothpicks. They snapped. And for, I can't remember how many miles it was, all the trees were snapped at that same level. Not from the ground, not from a surface burst of a meteor. And the thing is, what should have happened is, since the Earth supposedly curved over all those miles, right? The snapping of the tree should have gradually gotten higher, because the blast would hit lower and lower the farther out from the epicenter. Didn't happen. Flat and level like everything else. So that was an electromagnetic discharge, which I believe also caused, what's it called here in Arizona, meteor crater or whatever. Winslow, Arizona. There's no debris. There's no. I don't know how large I can make this. I can copy the image and blow it up. I can do that. Let me show you this. Where's the giant meteor? Just ask yourself the question. Oh, Rich, it pulverized. Oh, did it? So we should have a whole bunch of dust and sitting around or whatever. Then you have rocks that are blown out from the side, and you can see they're little teeny rocks. Insufficient mass for a meteor. But this was caused by a meteor, so we're told. Nobody questions it. Come on, StreamYard. There we go. Look at that thing. Let me get a little bit bigger for you. Now, this is all man stuff here. Man made all this. So I guess, I don't know if you have to pay to see it or what, but there's a little access road and a building and stuff. Look at this. Look how giant that meteor had to be. Where the hell are all the rocks? It pulverized, huh? That's a lot of pulverization. Should be like the moon, stepping in several inches of dust. But, I don't know. People don't ask the logical questions. Wow, Anna. She opened Netflix once last year when they were on vacation. Pregnant man, never opened it again. Yeah, stuff like that. And that was like recommended. What's They didn't say what's popular, or did they? I don't know. I didn't have Netflix, but I came across it, somebody's Fire Stick or something. I was like, my jaw was hanging open. I couldn't believe what I was looking at. Yeah, Dr. Shady Cat, you got it. People will believe any lie. The Bible says it too. They'll believe a lie because they had not the love of the truth. And the lies are much more romantic and enticing, um, fits the brain senses better. People love lies. In the event named the Battle of LA, we shot a UFO and it just took off like nothing. What was that, DCM? Carbide says there's proof of a nuke war long ago, something that melts stone. Or something that melts stone. There's nothing new under the sun, Carbide. I like SLH is there. Plasma. How about Mr. Tudor? He's talking about Sodom and Gomorrah. The only place on Earth where sulfur is found in nature more than, I think it's 3% is the highest concentration you can find sulfur anywhere on the Earth, except at Sodom and Gomorrah. And it's 90 some percent pure. Even to this day, you can go there, pull out a sulfur ball and light it on fire. Just don't be downwind of it. That stuff will kill your lungs in a heartbeat. I'm going to go in a few minutes here, guys. Mostly just because it's been a long week. I've been getting up at early morning, 4 to 5 o'clock, and then doing my thing. And I don't even get to Michael's house till 8:30. And I'm not stopped in between. I'm doing all kind of stuff. And then I come home and I do laundry, and I do it again the next day. That kind of thing. Or cook dinner. Yeah, you got it, Mr. Tudor. And sulfur everywhere else is yellow. DCM says, I heard from a coworker years ago, did some research, it was real. I forgot most of it by now. Supposedly it happened in Santa Monica. Hey, I wouldn't doubt it. And to me, it's our technology. It's technology that Hitler started developing in World War II. I think we have hovercraft, we have satellites, quote unquote, that can hover or change depending if they want them to move. Yep, pure white. Wow, Anna, you didn't learn about Tunguska until you were an adult. It's a meteor. But it's like you go to Petrified Forest here in Arizona. They don't, let's see. Maybe they have an explanation. What makes petrified wood? Buzz Aldrin. The greatest distributor of petrified wood. Buzz Aldrin. Petrified forms when fallen trees get washed down a river. And buried under layers of mud, ash from volcanoes, and other materials. Well, there's a place in Arizona. It's called Petrified Forest. There's no rivers, no sign that there ever was rivers. There's no volcanic anything. There's no ash. They're just laying on the surface. And to me, they don't look like trees. They look like giant branches of trees. That's what they look like to me. When did they come up with this? Fallen trees get washed down a river and buried under layers of mud, ash from volcanoes, and other materials. Sealed beneath this muck deprives the rotting wood from oxygen, the necessary ingredient for decay. Okay, so how do they become hard as a brick? How long does it take wood to petrify in nature? 5 to 10,000 years. So you can never prove it yourself. Just like I guarantee you, there will not be in 20 to 30, there will not be mining stocks for the moon. I guarantee it. Nobody's going to be going into space, not regular people. Yeah, William Shatner's and stuff like that. They're going to go up in this vomit comet and pretend they're in space. And the actors who know what to do, they float. Shatner doesn't know what to do. He just sits there. And they're in the atmosphere because we know what it looks like from balloon launches. At 70 some thousand feet, you start getting the different blue layers. That's what I call them. You get these little blue layers you see on the horizon. They weren't even that high. And they feed it to you and nobody even questions it. How come William Shatner isn't floating and everybody else is? How come it looks like the atmosphere does here on Earth when they're in space? You got it, Mr. Tudor. He backed up a dump truck of money on his front lawn. Simple as that. Yeah, the royalties from all the Star Trek episodes are gone. Car about 63 miles or so, and you come to a stop. Yep. Yeah, you got advantage. I know they paid him very well. And who else? You know, it's the millionaires, the billionaires, and the elite actors. They're the ones that are going into space. And we were told by the 1970s, that was the whole reason for the space shuttle. This is what's going to bring common folk going into space on a regular basis, probably about early to mid 1980s. I don't know, 40 years ago. Give me a break. We're no closer today. They didn't even bother to show William Shatner in black space. They don't even bother. Why bother? Why bother going through all the trouble to make it look like he's really in space when people won't question it? They could have the guy in a swimming pool somewhere and say he's in space and people will believe it. Joe Bond. Hey, Rich, I got two great new ideas. I call Project Sunbeam and Project Moonbeam. Okay, we send a rocket with a GoPro at the sun and moon. It beams pics signal back to a laptop just like the Dome rocket did. I would love to. If I had the money or the technology to be able to do it. Now I used to launch rockets, the little Estes rockets, and they actually, for what they went pretty high. They actually did. I mean, relatively speaking, they went maybe. I think the most I ever got one to go was maybe 3,000. One was designed, I think, to go 3,000 some feet. It's not bad. It's more than half a mile. I like your idea, Joe Bond. I just wish I could go to somebody and say, "Hey, put this together. How much is it going to cost? We want a rocket to go 70 miles straight up. We want a camera up and down and on the side at the same time, all running simultaneously." And but it's like that rocket that hit something or just suddenly stopped, whatever happened to it. I don't know. It wasn't broadcasting when it went up. That, just like with a balloon, you have to get that data off the balloon itself when it comes back down. Why? Because it loses satellites the closer it gets to them. It's amazing, but it does. I had a satellite tracking thing on both my balloons, one here in the United States, one in the UK. Both of them, once I got to 4,000 feet, whatever it was, boom, just you're tracking it. It's only showing where it is on the map. Gone. In fact, I thought my balloon was gone. I was like, it lost it. I'll never find it. Then all of a sudden, bam, it's back on the screen. I was like, what? But you have to get the camera that went up with it because you can't, nothing broadcasts. DCM says in the summer of 77, when my family moved to California, I was standing next to an apartment garage. A Triangle aircraft was flying slow-mo, almost right above me. Gorgeous aircraft. Yeah, 1997 is that the summer of '97? Isn't that what they when they give people LSD in their drinks? I'm just messing with you, DCM. I saw something that was impossible too. It's kind of hard for me to describe. It was in the direction where the sun was. So it was hard to see, but it was lit up and it was doing stuff too. I've seen some strange stuff too that no, I would say normally cannot be explained. And we live in this is where they do that crap. Southern Arizona, Nevada, or central southern Arizona, Nevada, California. And why? Because the weather is predictable here. It's very predictable. We don't have too many low pressure systems come through um, to mess things up. So they can do all kind of tests. We've got 300. I mean, the desert Southwest has 300 sunny days a year out of 365. And out of the ones that are cloudy, maybe only 20 or 30 of those that it actually rains. And so some of that is just very short derived rain. Dr. Shadycat said he saw an oval hovering in a field. Must be those UFOs. It must be those aliens, right? Where are you again, Vintage? You're in Ohio, is that right? 5 UFOs through the years. Yeah, these are things that were developed uh, late 1930s into the 1940s by scientists in Germany. And then when we had Operation Paperclip and brought them here, um, those scientists and everything, we did a lot of stuff suddenly with Antarctica, and Nazi Germany was doing stuff with Antarctica too. It's just funny. Nobody's allowed to even go down there. You're not allowed to go to Antarctica. I don't care what they say. You can go to these islands off the Falklands, but then you're not actually going to stand on the continent of Antarctica. You're not going to do it. Not unless you're William Shatner. He might be able to do it. Oh, West Virginia. That's right, Vintage. That's right. Oh, that's right. That's right. Not too far from Harper's Ferry area, if I remember right. Yeah, Mr. Tudor. Think of it. Notice how many businesses use the triangles. It's either triangles or globes for their businesses. Triangles or globes. Carbide, you never had the pleasure of seeing a UFO. Actually, you did, but that was before Mandela changed your brain. Actually, what it was is it was UFO, and it got changed to a Jumbo 747. You know I'm messing with you. One in North Carolina, others in West Virginia. It's hard to see stuff in West Virginia, man. You got mountains everywhere. Is there a flat place in West Virginia that's more than a half mile long? First is I send a rocket and GoPro. No GoPros. We're going to do regular cameras at the dome. Let's send one to the moon and sun. I'm still going to do I want to do a balloon at night, like that was done in Spain that we didn't see here, where it appeared that you could see the light from the sun and the moon at the same time, and the sun was on the opposite side of the earth. Mr. Tudor, so are they in on it, Rich, or just ignorance? Is who in on it? Uh, oh, I think it's a combination, Mr. Tudor. If it's giant, like NASA has a triangle and a circle and a globe, so to speak. Um, some of these really huge ones, I think no. I think everybody else just follows the crowd, um, so to speak. Oh, it's cool to have like AT&T. There's is a globe. Uh, so many of them. So many of the logos are just globes and triangles. Yeah, the triangle. I don't. You know, like me personally, I wouldn't pick a globe just because I think it's too plain as a logo. But I might pick a triangle. I don't see anything wrong with a triangle. Um, well, thank you, Tess. Good to see you here too. UFO hunters on YouTube that use the night camera. You think the big UFOs are blue beam? Could be, Dr. Shady Cat. I wouldn't doubt it. So, I mean, things are what they are. Like I said, I'll do these hand gestures or whatever that some people have problems with, and then I have problems with them, and I block them because I say you're too elementary. I think you can use different. I mean, a triangle is a triangle. It's a three-sided object. I mean, are you not going to play billiards because it forms a triangle before you break the balls up, and the balls are circles? So it all depends on your intent, how you use it. There was a guy I knew. Family was strong Christian. His company name was Triangle Janitorial Services, and of course, he had a triangle as their logo. All right, Anna, have a good night. I got to go too. I have to go too. So anyway, guys, I think the next one will still be on this channel because I'm sure I'm still blocked because I just got the strike. When did I get the strike? Wednesday. The day I was. Wednesday there was a reason why I couldn't do the stream. I just could not get here. It just didn't work Wednesday. I had somewhere else to be. But Monday, July 4th. Should we do one July 4th? Let's see what you guys say about July 4th. So if we, it means nothing to me. July 4th means nothing to me, but many people might be busy doing stuff that night. God bless you too, Vintage. Thank you. Thanks to everybody. I like the discussion tonight. It was going. Oh, thank you, Tess. Thank you so much. Praying for you, Michael, and your family. Much appreciated. I was actually surprised. Michael was like, "Yeah, show the pictures. I don't care." But I had to wait till he was mentally of sound mind and body before, or relatively before I did that. No party for you on July 4th? I don't party either. I don't like the fireworks. I'm just not back. Whatever. Hair's coming back good, huh? It's getting there anyway. I kind of actually like it because I don't have to do anything with it. I dry it off and then I just real fast run a brush through it. I was like, hey, it's done. And of course, here in Arizona, because it's dry, relatively speaking, I have to do it fast or it'll just dry, whichever way it is. We party, we sleep all day. All right, we'll see about Monday. Okay, if we do it Monday, I'm going to make it earlier. Or at least that's the plan. Okay, otherwise Wednesday, but it'll be on this channel. I'm sure. I'm not out of jail yet on the other channel, so I'll have to find out when that expires. So anyway, God bless everybody. This stream will stay up because we didn't say anything. So good night. God bless, and see you Monday or Wednesday next week. Take care, guys. Bye bye. Great having.